You are listening to Been There, Done That. We present some of the smartest people connected to the business of coffee. People who've succeeded in the tough grind of hospitality by staying ahead of the rest. So join us as we explore the secrets to their success and help you accelerate your business. This show is brought to you by the Coffee Commune, where the coffee community comes to collaborate. Enjoy the show.
Hi, this is Phil Di Bella, and you're on another episode of Been There and Done That, and it gives me great pleasure, I've got a big smile on my face, to talk about our new series coming up, which is the success stories. We want to tell stories of great people doing great things, especially if they're young, and young can be whatever you want it to be.
I'm still young.
Well, there we go, and that's Matthew Rollo, you can hear, who's my guest on the show today from Hashtag Burgers and Waffles. Matthew, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate being here.
Mate, we've titled this Success Stories series from the young guns, and mate, you're young. We've got the same hairdresser, but we're still young, yep. Right? And more importantly, we're employing young people, and we're obviously training them and hopefully breeding the next generation. But what we want to do on this episode and this series is shed some light and have a discussion about your story, your the good, bad, and ugly, but especially the good, because you're now grown in a short time to be 4 stores across Brisbane. Yeah. You've got over 23 years in the hospitality, training, consultancy industry. You see, it's not an overnight success. As I always say, people see what's above the water. They don't always see what's underneath that holds up. Or in a building, they see the flashy big building, but they don't realise how many months get spent underground in foundations. Yeah, so we're going to explore a bit of your foundations.
Sure.
And then we're going to talk about store 1 and now to store 4 and beyond. Yeah. And what I really want the listeners to get out of this is you can do it. Yes. Not everyone can do it, but you can do it. And that, when I say you, that's the listener. But in order to be able to do it, it takes that planning, it takes the foundation, it then takes that one store, and then it's up to you where you want to go in your vision. And we're going to use your story to not only tell people what a great job you're doing at Hashtag Burgers and Waffles, but also inspire others to hopefully, get on board and really, really treat this industry.
Jump in, give it a crack.
There you go. Jump in, give it a crack, and treat the profession exactly what it's about. So that's enough about what we're doing from my perspective. Let's get over to you. So tell us a little bit about your background and what inspired you to enter the hospitality industry.
Yeah, this is actually all I've ever done. So I started off washing dishes when I was 14, and basically I needed to get a job. So Mum says, go out, get a job. I got a job washing dishes, and I had a bit of a think about it, and I thought hospitality is one of those industries that I could see myself absolutely loving, and it's something that I'm able to create something out of from a longevity perspective. So with my career, I always had a dream of owning my own venues. Didn't know what it was going to be, didn't put the restrictions on myself on what it was going to be throughout those times. So I jumped into every little section of the industry that I possibly could from 14. So wanted to learn how to make coffee, got a job in a coffee shop. Wanted to learn how to be in a restaurant, so I went and got a job as a waiter. And I learned and jumped up. I worked in casinos and 5-star restaurants, customs house, all those things, everything that I could possibly do. And I learned as I went along, and I consciously chose what I wanted to do next until that dream developed of owning my own spaces. Originally, it was a coffee shop that I wanted to own. I went down to Melbourne, looked into the franchising world, learnt all about franchising, came back up to Brisbane and thought, hey, there's a bit of a gap in the burger market. There's not now, I'll tell you that. It's actually quite oversaturated. But there was a gap for the smash-style burgers in the Brisbane market.
What year was it?
That's a really good question. It's probably about 8 years ago. Okay. So, and I came up with the concept and I literally hustled from there. So it was my partner at the time, Kate, and I designed it, created it, made it our thing. We both had daytime jobs. I was working for Stella Rossa at the time as operations consultant. And then on the weekends, we were doing this. So
so let's hit pause on that. Yeah. Because that's getting to store 1, which I love. And our stories are very similar, washing dishes at 14, which I love. But some key takeaways there for the listeners. Firstly, it's not an overnight success. You're 14 years old, right? You planning and you want to learn. So one thing that really grabs me there is you wanted to learn.
Yeah.
So you went after the jobs that put you in learning mode.
Yes.
A lot of people today want to start in what I call 2-minute mode. They work for 2 minutes and they're experts, right? So something there that really grabs me from a positive point of view is that you wanted to learn. You had a vision to learn from 14 and you wanted to learn from the ground up. And you wanted to learn all aspects of the industry. Everything, and you were not scared to jump in and go and work in the different businesses to learn that skill.
That's right.
But especially going down to Melbourne to give you a different perspective.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Key takeaway there for the listeners to really grab onto that is, Matthew's foundations came from a young age. Matthew's foundations came from obviously throwing himself, having a go, but learning the skills.
Yes.
Okay, so now let's go to store 1, 2017, 2018 roughly.
Yes,
you see a gap. Yeah, you get 2018. You see a gap in the market. Yeah. Talk us through it.
Yeah, so I originally started off with the coffee shop idea, and that slowly developed into something a little bit different for us. I'm like, burgers, wants to be burgers. I love burgers. Melbourne Gap, put it all together and all right, let's do that. So came up with the menu, came up with the design, the idea, the logo, and to get that start, I then moved over to Club Training Australia, where I was a hospitality teacher, and I met a lady called Kim who owns Entice Me Cafe.
Oh, yes, Kim, lovely lady, yes.
Yeah, so out of the back of her actual, in her catering kitchen from there, we rented it out on the weekends and did Uber only and DoorDash and stuff like that, and we kind of perfected what we were doing. This is probably about the middle of 2019 once we got everything built and everything like that. And ran it out of there on the weekends while we were still doing our day jobs.
So, what you talk us through this, right? You again very similar. You've got your day job.
Yep.
You've got a vision to open a business, so you have a go. You put your toe in the water, not jump deep dive. A lot of people think, key takeaway that people need to grab out of that is no, not everyone risks it all. I certainly didn't. Yeah. You certainly didn't. Yeah. You had a backup plan. Yep. So you open on the weekend and put your toe in the water in a very smart and strategic way, which is another takeaway there for somebody listening going, I want to try the market. We're going to explore that a bit. Strategic, you obviously were comfortable with your worst case scenario, but you still had a backup, which means you still were working Monday to Friday.
Yep, that's right.
Great. Now tell us about the challenges. What was going through your mind at that point? Let's inspire the listeners to go, geez, I don't have to bank it all. I don't have to risk it all by telling your story. 2019 now, you've hooked up with Kim at Entice. You're using the kitchen at the back. You put your toe in the water. Your vision is to do amazing quality smashed burgers. Your backup plan is you're still working Monday to Friday. Yep. Right? Key lessons that were learned at that time.
You don't need a great amount of money. I started off with nothing. I had $2,000 in my bank account, and that was my first stock order, right? And we put our time in to be able to do it. That was probably one of the biggest key takeaways, because all this time I thought that I needed cash. I needed so much money to start this up, and I didn't.
You needed strategic thinking.
That's exactly right, and that's what we did. So talking to Kim, negotiating on rents. After our first couple of weeks, Kim was lovely. She sat down and said, hey, let's have a look at your costings.
So she was a mentor as well.
She was, yeah, she very much was. So we worked on our costings, worked on our pricings. We were Uber only, and we were one of the first people to do Uber only. So they asked us for brick and mortar, which we technically did have because we sold out the back and stuff like that as well. And again, I learnt algorithms. I learnt how Uber worked, DoorDash worked, how it all worked. If we got a bad review, I'd look at it and go, okay, what do I need to do to fix this? How do I make sure that we're at the top of the algorithms and things like that? So that was a really big takeaway for us as well, which actually set us up for the future for when COVID hit. And then also when we had our first store 3 months into COVID. So they were huge takeaways. Yeah. The other one is don't get down if it doesn't work. So there's been many failures with all of this. But if you get down, you take away the lessons that you can on the things that succeeded and you push those forward and you learn from the ones that don't. And don't do them again, or move them and change them and pivot so you can actually grow and stuff like that too. And we did that. We had burger specials through Uber, which is something that nobody was really doing at the time. And we tested certain burgers. We changed them every week, and we were active in the business. I think a lot of people think it's very much a set and forget type of thing. I've got my systems, I've got my structure, I'm good, I'm going to sit back and I'm just going to let it ride and grow. You've got to develop as you go. You've got to build as you go. And that was really important for us to do that. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Also very much a yes person. So if somebody says, hey, do you want to come and do the Mount Gravatt markets? Absolutely, I do. Yeah. Do you have a tent? No, but I'll work it out.
Strong work ethic.
And
so
we did,
I hear a lot of planning, a lot of strategy, a lot of measured mapping, anticipating the market, all of these skills rather than just rushing in.
Yeah, a lot of thought.
A lot of thought. And I think it's a credit to where you are, and we'll delve into that after. But really understanding that platform in setting up for the listeners, to listening to your wonderful story, is that the hardest work is done at the beginning.
Yeah,
and
really is. Foundation work is so important.
Correct. And making sure that you're obviously comfortable. But like you said, yes, I think we don't say yes to enough things anymore. The work ethic, and we'll talk about that after, is something that I really want to talk with you about as well. Tell me, how did it feel when people were wanting your product?
Great. I remember the first burger that came through, and it was an amazing feeling. Having that people call you up, message you, Instagram, all that type of stuff, and go, hey, this is the best feed I've ever had. This is the best burger I've ever had. It gives you the motivation to push forward. And it gives, for me personally, the energy to go, all right, this is good. We're onto something here. Let's make it great. So it's very much an energy thing for me, receiving that feedback.
And I can see it with a bigger smile on your face. You're a people person, right? And so what advice would you give to somebody who's not a people person that's thinking about a career in hospitality?
Listen and adapt. It's fun. This is actually, when you get down to the grassroots of this industry, it's about people, it's about food, it's about culture, right? It's about this is what it is. It's about people. That's the fun stuff of life. So take it on board and feel it very much so.
And use it to thrive, right? I mean, similar. When I went to the market, started pouring coffees in 2002. It gave me so much joy seeing somebody's face light up when they'd have our coffee and go, "Hey, I normally put sugar in this, and I don't need sugar in your coffee."
It's beautiful, isn't it?
And I find that there's a commonality. And I wonder if you find this experience too, because like I said, you've been in the industry over 23 years in different ways and forms, that there's a commonality that the businesses that succeed in hospitality, many reasons, but standout things is that they love people. But the key is that they build the business from the outside in. So let's talk about your menu creation. So as you put your first store together, you said, right, I'm going to do smashed burgers, because some people go, smashed burgers and waffles, where did that come into it? Talk us through your menu. Talk us through how, you've obviously loved people, you built the business from the outside in. Talk us through how you went about that with menu design and putting those smiles on people's faces.
The biggest thing for me was our food creating memories. So when I created the menu that we've got, things like having our Milo shake, that's a memory of me as a child, right? So having that Milo shake, taking a sip, going, wow, like this is something from my past. Majority of that is from the burgers, and everything that we've created has that basis of it. I had fun with it. I knew the base 5 burgers that I wanted to do, which is like a pulled chicken, standard cheeseburger style. I wanted to do a double, but I really wanted to do something different with the double, so I did the blue cheese and the relish. And those 5 burgers created the base of what we've got now, which is 20-odd burgers, which is a lot. But every single one of those has had heart built into what we've done.
It's got a story.
It's got a story, but it's also come from the staff. So Glenn, very first staff member that we ever had, he came to me, he goes, "Wait, try this. I made this for lunch." It's still on the menu today, Cheeky Tuesday. Do you know, like those things there, a lot of staff have come up. We want to do things like a mac and cheese patty. All right, what can we do for this? What's amazing thing from a mac and cheese? We did a croissant burger, right? It's now got, what's it got? It's 11 million views.
Isn't that amazing?
For this croissant burger that we've got, because I came with an idea going, I want to do something that's a little bit different. And I think it might have been down a cafe having a croissant. I'm like, let's give this a go.
But you're having some fun with it. You're getting people involved.
Absolutely.
I talk about fun. Emotional engagement. That's what you're doing. You're emotionally engaging your staff, you're emotionally engaging your customers, and you're emotionally engaging yourself to keep you motivated.
That's what's fun.
And so what's the best-selling product on the menu? Well, give us your top 3.
Simple Sally is number 1. And I'm talking not by a little bit, by miles.
And what's a simple salad?
So it's got cheese or double cheese, patty, lettuce, onion, ketchup, and a pickle mayo.
How awesome.
Simple. It's so simple.
And the busiest day of the week?
At the moment, it's really hard to pick. The weekends, Friday is usually the busiest out of every store, just as a standard, Friday nights all the way through. But we can be pulling Mondays that are record Mondays just out of the blue, like last Monday for, I don't know why. It's just Monday.
Which is another data. It's great. I mean, the synergies are the same, right? We're seeing it here. We operate obviously a small cafe out of our venue here to service the people in the area and our community at the commune. But Monday could be a record day, and that never used to happen in hospitality, right?
It was real easy to pick, and you could staff do it.
Yes, yeah. Whereas now you can't.
Do it. You can't now.
And that's why some customers, we see some of the keyboard warriors, unfortunately, that make negative comments. I went into this place and, there was no staff. Well, it's very hard for people to staff things when they don't know how busy it's going to be,
That's
right?
Exactly right. We have exactly the same problems.
Yeah.
But we're very, very lucky in our sense that our food very much balances out any weights and things like that. Because when they try the food, they're like, oh, wow, okay, this was worth the wait. Yeah. So we took a lot of time to develop what we've got in regards to the products that we use from a beef perspective. It took me 4 months to find the buns that we use to make sure that they're perfect for what we've got, because I didn't want something like a brioche being too sweet, didn't want a milk bun either, so I wanted something right in the middle.
Again, care, like attention, build it from the outside.
Everything. Everything that we do. All of our sauces, we made them ourselves and we tweaked them to be perfect. If it's not perfect, we don't put it on. Yeah. So it's got to have that flavour, it's got to have the balance. It's
fantastic. So that's store one. When did you know then? So what was next? 2019. Kim, obviously, great support. Gave you that opportunity. Helped you mentor. You were amazing. Obviously, you built this. When did you know? Hey, we're onto something here. So you said you opened your first physical store full time during COVID.
No, it was January 2020.
Okay, January 2020.
3 months before.
Just about, before the trial.
Yep. Funny enough, it was Kate who was just looking around on stuff. She goes, I found this really cool space and I think we can do it. Yeah. And I was a little bit apprehensive. I'm like, I don't know whether we can or not. We went away to Melbourne for a little bit, came back and jumped in. Let's just do it. All right. So she actually quit her job at the time. She was a childcare worker, jumped into the shop full time. Yeah. And it was an old Subway. It was nothing in it. I think I got two dishwasher and a grill from Silver Chef. Yeah. And the rest of it was just, man, it was compared to what they look like now.
You built it smart. That's what I say.
Smart. Yeah. We had no money again because we put it all down on the bond and stuff like that. And Kate jumped in. I still had my job full time with CTA. And then COVID hit and I was able to then work in the shop full time with Kate and we were able to build and grow. But the cool thing is we already had the connection with the Uber. We had already worked out the algorithms and everything like that. So when all the other restaurants in lockdowns were trying to work out Uber, we were already solid on the platforms and getting up the top. Yeah. So we had Uber drivers, 17, 15 of them Friday nights hanging around the front just waiting for meals. Yeah. So
isn't that amazing?
People drive past and like, what's going on there?
But that's not an overnight success.
No, it was about a year, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's a lot more than that. It's the years before. It's the washing dishes at 14. True. Yeah, it's jumping in and learning the different skills, learning resilience, learning connections, learning strategic planning. Yep. All the positive stuff, right?
That's very true. I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah, it gets you right through the tough times, right?
Yeah, and it did.
In the measure of what you learn, it's putting it in the resource bank, put it in the bank, put it in the bank. Yep. Everything's an experience. Knowledge is power. Yeah. And I love your story because it proves that it is knowledge over money. Yeah. And a similar story to myself, obviously starting with 5,000 and exiting for a massive amount. Yeah. It was knowledge over power. It was strategy over power, over money. Yeah. And it was people over money, engaging with the right people.
Too. Patience is a very big thing as well. Like what I find is a lot of people jump into this industry straight away and go, all right, I want to open. I'm finding this at the moment is people jump in and go, I want to open up a business. What's your salary expectations? 120 grand in the first year. Oh, okay. What's your profit expectations? 20,000 a month. All right, let's have a chat about that because this hospitality is one. It's a brand new business and things there too. Kate and I literally took no money for 2 years. Yeah. Like we scrambled with everything to be able to build the money in the bank, to then do the renovations on the shop, to make it look cool like it does today, to then build it up for when lockdown finished. People started coming in and going, oh, this is actually quite a cool space. Yeah. And it built and it grew from there through a lot of years of that sacrifice.
And more planning and strategy.
More planning and strategy, that's it. And we are so proud that we took the steps that we did to get to where we are because it's got us in a really, really solid spot.
And I love it. So let's fast forward because, like I said, your story's amazing and now the listeners can see exactly why we wanted you on the show to talk about success stories, and especially young guns. Store 4, you're at 4 stores. Yep. Let's talk about the 4 stores
Crazy,
now.
Isn't it? Yeah.
And then we'll explore what's next. But store 4, where are they?
Yeah, so we've got Fish Lane, is in South Brisbane. We've got Capalaba, Ashgrove, and then the Valley.
Fantastic. And what have you learned through the 4 stores? 4 different demographics, 4 different regions.
Yes.
Talk us through that.
Completely different. One of the things I think is important for us to focus on is systems. Being a franchise, that's why you buy into a franchise, is because they've got the solid systems, they've done the work, and then they've been able to work on buying power and stuff like that as well. So for us, systems is huge. Making sure that we've got Restoke, for example, right? You know how Restoke works.
Amazing. They're great group. Partners at the Coffee Commune.
Yep, 100%. So using systems like that to be able to control our stock and then link it into our till systems through the wages with deputy and having all of that data to be able to make correct decisions is so important.
So systemize. You're embracing technology as you grow to make sure you're getting the data, to do the analysis.
Data's king.
To build your strategy.
Yes.
And something we talk a lot about. You heard it there from Matthew, who's a seasoned expert. He's been there and done that, which is what this show's all about, is put systems, use technology, use what you need to collect that data, analyze that data, and then move forward on your strategies.
That's it.
So what's the biggest learnings about going from an idea to a trial store to a store one to now 4 stores? So just talk us through some of the key learnings from a positive perspective.
Enjoy what you do. That's definitely one of the biggest.
So you still love it?
I do love it. I love this every day.
Great.
So I get up and I do this with a smile on my face. I don't want to do anything else. And I think that's something that people don't look at from a long-term perspective. They see it as either a job or a task or something like that. If you love what you do, you'll never work. It sounds corny, but I truly believe that. I really enjoy what I do. So that's a big takeaway for me that I'd like to pass on to other people is enjoy what you do. It's huge. And don't be disheartened if things don't go your way. That's something that I've seen a lot of people, it doesn't go well. And instead of doubling down and putting the energy into their dream and their vision, they give up.
Yeah.
So, and that's something I think is a hard one to see, especially if they've got a good brand or a good vision or something like that too. So,
and it's not meant to be easy, right?
No,
if it was easy, everyone would be doing it.
That's exactly right. I set myself specifically at the start of this journey 5 years. I gave hashtag 5 years, and that was a 5-year hustle. And I said to myself, I'm going to put everything aside for 5 years. Right? I'm going to put my head down. I'm not going to look up. And now we're ticking towards the start of that 5-year mark. I'm starting to look up and going, all right, cool, we can do this. And I've able to choose the hours that I work. I get to manage my own lifestyle a lot more, which was one of the goals for me, is being able to work when I want to work, not when I have to work.
Love it.
So that's something that we do now. Don't get me wrong. I still work a lot of hours a week, but I enjoy what I do.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing for me.
And you see, it's a 5-year journey. That's before the pre-work.
Yes.
Right? That's before the foundation work.
That's just when I realised what I wanted to do.
That's what you got to store one.
That's right.
There's a whole lot. So, listeners, there's a whole lot of foundation there that Matthew's talked about. And then obviously getting to store 1 and now it's store 4. And you see that's 3 different stages already.
100%.
Right?
That's right. Yeah.
So let's talk about next. What's next? What's the vision for hashtag Burgers and Waffles?
Definitely. We're actively looking for franchisees at the moment. So our systems and our foundation is strong.
So you're ready to go now?
Ready to go now. We're actively looking, talking to 3 different people at the moment.
Fantastic.
For 3 different sites. Also just released master franchisors for down south.
How exciting.
So looking into that as well. Yeah. So we're pretty
And the strategy behind it? Are you mapping out the areas you want them to go into?
Yes.
Or are you letting, people come to you with their ideas and thoughts of the idea?
Both. Yeah, 100% both. Part of our brand is accepting other people's individuality and putting that into the stores. So, for example, you'll see the artwork on the walls is a little bit different per store.
Great. So they get to add their own personality.
Yeah. If you head down to Capalaba at the moment, they designed their wall last week and got it painted up there. It's beautiful.
Love that story.
Absolutely beautiful. So that's what we like to do for the franchisees. In regards to areas and stuff like that, we're very heavily focused into the city. So we're looking to get the north and the south and also the west. Because we found that those suburb sites do work really, really well for our brand. We get people driving from Ipswich into the city. We get people driving from the Gold Coast into the city to come and try our brand.
Isn't that amazing?
We had somebody fly from Sydney to the airport and then jump in a taxi and come to Capalaba, right, just to eat our food. Like,
wow,
that's insane.
It's a great testimonial.
Yeah,
I hope somebody caught that.
Well, I only found that out yesterday.
There was a marketer in me there, right?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, stuff like that is brilliant. So we're looking to expand as far as we can go.
Yeah, and what makes if somebody out there listening going, hey, I really like the idea of this. So there's 2 things I want to unpack with that because one of the motivations for me with the Been There, Done That, and this series of stories is to inspire the youth to start thinking of their own business.
Absolutely.
And a great way to get into business is to jump into a franchise, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So 2 questions for you. One, why should a young person listening right now say, you know what, I should explore the hashtag Burgers and Waffles model? And then part 2 to that, tell us about your model. What have you learned from other franchise groups that is going to make yours even stronger than theirs?
Definitely. I can actually answer that with one.
Love it.
Right, both of them with one is support. We give the franchisees 100% of the support in every single way that we possibly can. We are very active in our brands. So that's
fast tracks their learning?
Yeah, yep, definitely. But it also gives them the confidence in themselves to be able to do the tasks.
Yeah.
The guys at Capella Bar, perfect example. They run an amazing store. They're running about 8% profit for last financial year.
Geez, that's good.
That's their
when
first
most
year
people are
of
treading
trade.
water.
It's their first year of trade. So they're doing an amazing job. We spent a lot of time with those guys. Dana out there, she's from the fitness world, and James is from the sales world. Right? We brought them into the brand and we taught them what they know to be able to run a successful business through being there every step of the way.
Fantastic. And what values do they need to bring to the table as a minimum?
Attitude.
Yeah, there you go.
That's exactly it. Yep. They've got to have the same values as I do. Yeah. Right. And as Kate does, as Matt McKee does. He's our operations manager.
And Matt,
so
I'll tell you, that's why no doubt you're successful now and will continue to be.
Thank you.
Is I say I've been in this industry now 35 years, and I talk about it's attitude over skill.
Yeah.
We're fortunate enough, we're not doctors and surgeons where it's got to be skill over attitude.
That's exactly right.
We don't want somebody with no skill operating on anybody.
We're cooking burgers and pouring beers.
That's it. But in our industry, it's attitude. So if you've got a good attitude, you're listening out there, and you've got a good attitude, and you want to look into getting into a franchise system, well then hashtag Burgers and Waffles. Well, give them a go, have a chat with them, reach out to the guys because obviously they've got the skill set behind. Let's talk about training and support in terms of marketing. So because from my experience from franchise groups, and I've got a little bit after selling out to a major franchise group.
Exactly.
The franchises that work are supporting, they're giving the buying power. And they're marketing.
Yes.
So what are you guys doing in terms of the marketing and the training?
Yeah, so training is 6 weeks initial training with us, so 4 weeks hands-on and then 2 in the store. But then it's every single day after that. If you need us to go in to help you, we'll come in and help you. It's direct line to us as well, which is something I feel is really important. I've heard stories of franchisees where they haven't seen the franchisor in 7-8 months. We're in the store at least once a week until you tell us to go away. That's what I want them to do. And it's a great feeling when a franchisee says, I don't need you anymore. Right? You don't need to come in. I'll see you once a month. Beautiful feeling. So that's what we aim to do. From a marketing perspective, we do have a marketing fund that we run, and we use a lot of that for Concrete Playground, Australian Good Food Guide, Broadsheet. We're doing I don't want to give away too much information, but a giveaway for 100,000 followers on Instagram that's coming up very, very soon. So we're going to be doing a huge giveaway prize for that, which is going to be quite cool.
Fantastic.
We do monthly specials. We do EDMs. Anything that we can do. Nova is a big thing for us as well. So we put a lot of money into Nova, and we've tweaked that as well to be able to get the best return for our dollar for our franchisees.
Now, what I love about it is you're working for and with your franchisees.
For them.
Yeah, which is a big thing, right?
Yeah.
And no doubt why have you got a vision for number of stores?
20 is the next vision.
Okay,
so our 5-year plan, business plan, is up to 20 stores, and that's what we're working towards now.
Love it. I love it. And I mean, when you sit down and you're hearing stories like yours, where, like I said, most of the work's done in the preparation. It's like a boxer says, we do, I box myself. I'm not a professional fighter. I've had a few corporate fights. I don't like getting punched in the face.
Neither do I. I'm not a fighter.
And as the trainers say, I'm not angry enough to be a boxer, but I mean, most of the work's done outside the ring, right? And in business, because I love using analogies, being a strategic marketer and brander, I talk in analogies a lot. In business, what I'm really getting from your story that I want listeners to understand is that a lot of the work is done outside the ring. A lot of your work was done before you even opened store 1. And then the next lot of work before you got to store 4 was at store 1. And a lot of your work before you get to store 20 is going to be at store 4.
At store 4.
And what you're doing now. Correct.
That foundation.
Because one of the things I get asked a lot about is how do you scale a business? And I say, well, you don't have a strategy to scale except one. You solve a problem better than anyone else, be more relevant than anybody else, tell a story better than anyone else, and scale will be a byproduct of doing that.
And that's what happens.
And that's what's happening with you, right?
Exactly
the problem you solved at store 1, the relevance at store 1, and the story you told at store 1 will got you to store 4. Now what you do now will get you to store 20 and beyond.
And that's exactly right. And that's what we're setting up. So setting up production, we've got a production kitchen that we make our food out of and stuff.
Love it.
So being able to do that to keep those costs down for the staff, for the franchisees, and then the staff costs get cut back because they don't have to prep in store and all those things.
And it's a roll-on effect, right?
It's huge,
So 2 more things to explore before I let you get back to building the next empire. Work ethic.
Yes.
Talk me through what makes a good work ethic.
Giving yourself time to think, being quiet, I think that's something that I only learnt in my later years on this, is there is nothing wrong with going down to the park and sitting in silence for an hour, half an hour, whatever it's going to be, and thinking. When you process things, it keeps your brain free, allows the ideas to come back in. That's where a majority of my ideas come from, is driving in the car, because you've got nothing else. Yeah. There's no distractions on the phone, there's no computers, there's no emails, there's nothing. It's just thinking. And I couldn't put that in high regard.
Yeah, great. So really, and what about from team members, right? Obviously, how many total team now would be behind the brand?
Great question. Over 100.
Yeah.
I think.
So what's the common denominator? What brings from their perspective? So yours is obviously about that, having that strategic time to think, that quiet time, putting yourself in that learning mode.
Hustle.
But what about from the 100 plus employees that work under your brand? What's attitude?
Attitude. Yeah. Like, be happy. Be yourself. You don't need to have the skills. You don't need to be a qualified chef. You just need to be a decent human and be happy and enjoy what you do, and come to work with a smile on your face and a willingness to learn and work and adapt. And that's, you can feel that. Yeah, you can feel that. You can't teach it. Something that you can definitely feel with a person. And that's important to us. We look for the same qualities in a franchisee than we do in our staff. Yeah,
that's fantastic. Okay, last one. So I don't believe in work-life balance. So let's talk me through the work-life harmony, right? You just said before, you're in a good space. You get the right amount of work with the right amount of you time. I talk about our lives of personal, professional and family. Talk us through what the harmony looks like for you, Matt.
Yeah, definitely. I work to my strengths personally. So I'm a morning person. I know that my brain is most active in the morning, so I like to get most of my stuff done in the morning. Then I'm able to come here and do things like this today, 10 o'clock, and it makes it a lot easier. But I got up at 5. I was working at 6. I got all my big things done, all my things that I needed to think about. So created a new product range that we're working on, and created this promo that we're doing and things like that, because I'm active. Then in the afternoon, I kind of follow up on the things that I need to do, and then I spend the afternoon thinking. It sounds silly, but I sit out on the back deck and I sit and I think, right, on what I can do, how I can improve, how things can be. And then I think for me, turning things off, like the emails on my phone, was a really big one, because that was a constant distraction that was always there. I'd be in the middle of a family time, or I'd be in the middle of something that was important that I needed to focus on, and it would constantly be chiming, constantly.
So get rid of the distraction.
Got rid of that distraction. I do that quite regularly as well, as put the phone away, right, to create that balance, to give my mind that sense of freedom. And switching off, I do believe, is important. But I'm the same as you, though. It is hard to create that synergy between everything if it's a majority of your existence. So I like to turn off just for a little bit, to be able to give that mind a bit of a break and stuff like that too. But again, we've got group chats where if an idea hits on the weekend, we'll message in the group chat and we'll be talking about it throughout the weekend. So things like that as well, we enjoy doing.
So you have systems and processes in place, no different, right? You've got your time blocked out for work time, your time blocked out for you time, and your time blocked out for family, and you've put parameters around that. And that's what I find the common denominator with success stories is that people are really, one, they know themselves, and you seem to know yourself very well. What time of day you operate well in, what triggers you in a positive and negative way. But then you do a lot of planning and strategy around that.
Definitely.
And it's different for each listener, right?
Yes.
Every 100%. Listener learns different. Some people are night people, some people are morning people. So work to your strengths.
Work to your strengths. Know yourself. Learn yourself. Go, how do I feel in this moment? What do I need to do to improve how I feel in this moment to get the most out of what I'm doing? That's an important thing too.
And knowing what winning feels like, right?
Yeah, definitely. When you have those wins, you can go, okay, all that hard work that I put in, all that foundation that I put in is paying off. And it's an amazing feeling. It's a beautiful feeling. So that's what we work towards. And I think the biggest thing for me is seeing people enjoy my food. It's honestly that. But we look for the leg shake. So when people get excited, their leg shakes. That's what we look for. You're looking at, all right, he's got a leg shake. They're good. They enjoy it.
Or they're licking their fingers, right?
All that kind of things. It's great. So they're the things that we look for. That gives us that little bit of, dopamine hits that keep on going and do the next thing and have fun with what we do. So
mate, a credit to you. Last one. People listening to this, give them 23 plus years of wisdom in a couple of minutes. What are some key takeaways from your perspective? If you're talking, some people say, if you're talking to a 20-year-old self, or, I like to say, if you're talking to your kids and trying to have an impact on them, what would you bottle up and say to them?
Enjoy what you do. You got to choose something where you enjoy what you do, because you're going to be doing it for a very long time. So you really do have to enjoy it. Find something that is going to feed your soul. And I found feeding your soul, for me anyway, is watching other people enjoy what I've created. That's a big thing for me, watching other people enjoy things. So being able to, say to somebody, enjoy what you do, and figure out what that is, and just hustle and push for it. So it's not always going to be ups. It's always ups and downs. Learn from the downs. There's always going to be quiet times as well. In those quiet times, you want to be able to think and create and grow. And then in the busier times is when you execute. Life's never a flat. It's always ups and downs. There's always ebbs and flows. Yeah.
Sometimes we go 2 steps back to go 5 steps forward.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've done that a few times as well. And it's
haven't we all?
Brilliant.
It's the law of averages, right? I say if you get to the end of the year and you say, I accelerated my potential, personally, professionally and family, then it's been a good year.
Love that. 100%. Yeah.
Matthew, your passion is infectious. I love what you've created. I love your story. I can't thank you enough for being part of our success story series and a young gun. I always say we love bringing people to this show. Been there, done that, is literally that. People that have been there and done that. No 2-minute noodles are allowed on my show. And I certainly don't align myself with people that think that success is created in 2 minutes.
Oh, it's definitely not, is it?
No, it's not. And I love the stories. And like you, I share a passion where I want to see this industry be around for a long, long time.
Absolutely.
But it's going to need people like yourself and the next generation to have a go, to be very strategic, to be very measured, to plan, to do the hard work. It starts at 14, guys. My son's now 14 and a half, and he's washing dishes at the commune and serving people. So there seems to be a theme there.
It's a seed. Yeah, it's a seed, and it grows and it builds, isn't it?
It is. It is. And I wish you great success. And anyone listening, our wonderful producer will have all the details up of how you can get a hold of Matt and his team to talk about Hashtag Burgers and Waffles and our possible career.
Absolutely.
In owning their own stores with great support, with great people that have been there and done that.
Yeah, we're here to support. We've surrounded ourselves with really good people. And we're here to support and grow. So 100%.
Matthew, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Rollo from Hashtag Burgers and Waffles, a gentleman who's gone from strong foundations, washing dishes, right through to opening a concept store, to then opening a full-blown store, now at 4, and in the next 5 years, definitely to be at 20 plus, because he's done the work, he's been there, done that, and can't wait to have him on the show in the future to explore his success and the team's success further. But as we always say here at the Coffee Commune, you've got to do the work and you get the results. We talk about accelerating your potential and being the best that you can be. Until next time, you've been listening to Phil Di Bella, and this is that one up. I was about to say Flashcast by BDD.
Right at the very end.
No, that's right. Lucky we got a good producer, right? I'll go back to that one. This is Phil Di Bella, and you've been listening to Been There and Done That, brought to you by the Coffee Commune. That's a wrap for today. Keep listening for more episodes of Been There and Done That. The Coffee Commune is here to help accelerate your potential. We want you to be better tomorrow than today. Until next time, you've been listening to Phil Di Bella. I'm the founder and managing director of the Coffee Commune, a place where the coffee community comes to collaborate.